And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The Wild gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes
Swack. A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Welcome in, everybody, for this presentation of the QSR Simulations Race 2, track we call Kansas. Welcome to the show, indeed. Live on V-Speed, I'm your host and producer, Morgan Cook, alongside Jake Reeves, the Southern broadcaster, here live on V-Speed at V-Speed Sim. As I mentioned before, we're here at Kansas, opened in 2001. 1.5 mile oval, one of the cookie cutters, very much like Chicagoland, Las Vegas. Exception is, this one, you run the top, and you'll need to run the top to be fast. Drivers will be rim riding all night around this freshly repaved, locked in time Kansas Motor Speedway. 17 degrees of banking in the corners, that's on the bottom. The top, I believe, is more like 20. 10 degrees on the front stretch, tri-oval area. 4 corners, this beautiful facility. And like I said, fresh repave, so speeds will be high tonight. Quick look at our race analysis. 90 laps. This 1.5 mile racetrack, pit road speed is 45 miles an hour. Pretty easy pit road to get onto, but we still could see some issues there if things get sideways. 4 tire sets available. 2 green, white checkers in case things get spicy at the end. 100% fuel here, about 53 laps, 52 laps, somewhere in there, on the iRacing fixed setup, which means there are no driver adjustments that drivers can make to their various machines. Well, if you caught last week at Daytona, you will know that we had a fantastic finish. Unfortunately, we all missed the first 2/3 of the race due to some technical difficulties, but Jake and I made a great call last week. Jake, bring him to the finish line, and why don't we discuss what happened last week? How do you think about that, Jake?
Well, I mean, honestly, Morgan, I mean, it was a hell of a race, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we saw all kinds of guys just basically trying to find their teammates, trying to work together. I mean, obviously, we saw pretty much damn near every single one of Vietnam Motorsports was up at the front. Obviously, Dirt Likes, he ends up getting the win. But, I mean, it was very, very clean all the way up until we had that first caution. And then after that, I mean, guys were throwing all kinds of moves. I mean, you had guys going 3 wide. I mean, maybe even looking 4 wide at times. Guys just trying to position themselves, try to get to a certain place and try to be there at the end. And in the end, like I mentioned, Dirt Lights ends up getting a win. And ironically enough, Derek McMurtry in the 84, he was pushing him. And he pushed him so long to where he ended up blowing his engine. That's how he ended up screwing himself out of a second place finish. So, I mean, it was a fantastic race. Obviously, I love super speedway racing. Anybody that knows the redneck announcer Jake Reeves knows that I love the super speedway type of racing. But I'm telling you, I absolutely loved it. There you see the points out there. Obviously, Dirt Likes. He has the lead with the points. And then obviously, I mean, it goes down from there. A couple of guys up there that I want to also mention. Mike Petrin. I already got a lot of crap from that one right there. I got his name wrong last week. He sent me a message in Discord. He was not too happy with me. So Mr. Petrin out there, the number 60, sitting fourth in the points right now. Looking pretty good right now so far in qualifying. May have something for these boys here tonight.
And going through the rest of your points grid, we've got in 5th, Ethan Wisnowski. Good run last week. Ronnie Joyner in 6th. Frank Walsh, 7th. Brent Allen, Austin Dowdy, and then that V-Speed All-Star car, if you will, Bradley Cooper and myself. We piloting that machine this year. We are in 10th. 11th is Chris Nail. Daniel Molnix in 12th. Zach White is 13th. Jalen Handcamp is 14th. Peter Hopp is 15th. Derek McMurtry, CJ Gates, Ryan Commons, and Mitchell Costner are your top 19. Those are all the drivers to take the grid last week.
And yeah, I think we're going to actually really have a good stacked field here this evening. And a lot of drivers, I'm actually seeing a couple of those guys, like you mentioned, McMurtry, Molnix, all those guys easing back to the back. They hadn't even actually went out there and took a qualifying time. Actually, yeah, they're going to start damn near dead last on the field. So that's going to get interesting right here. But Morgan, we're getting lined up, baby. They're on the grid.
That's a great segue. Let's show you our grid here tonight. Starting on pole, Dirk Likes in the 3, right where he finished last week. Right beside him, Ronnie Joyner in the 00. Third, we Brent Allen in the 13 machine, alongside that V-Speed machine on the V-Speed channel. Fourth place, Bradley Cooper. Fifth place, Joseph Terciano is how I learned how to say that name earlier. Apologies, I'm going to butcher that all night. CJ Gates starts alongside in 6th. 7th, Austin Dowdy. 8th, Peter Hopp. 9th, Christian Rodrigo. And 10th, Frank Walsh.
And we got Mike Petrin. I'm going to keep on saying that one just to end up pissing him off, honestly, Morgan. But Mike Petrin, he's going to be starting in the 11th spot with Ethan Wisnowski starting in P12. Ryan Commons is going to start P13. Spencer Johnson in 14th. Brandon Yates in 15th. Like I said earlier, he's the last driver to go out there and put down a lap in qualifying. The rest of these drivers, Daniel Molnix, Derek McMurtry, Reed Sanders, and Zach White. That's the 19 guys. It's going to be at it here for 90 laps here at Kansas. It's a beautiful track. It really truly is, Morgan. Absolutely love this place. The bottom lane really comes in a lot, but you're going to see a lot of guys try to work up there on that top side. Got to be careful, especially here in these Xfinity cars. These suckers have a tendency to get a little bit tight here. They just step on that throttle a little bit too much. They could end up like Kyle Larson and end up jumping the cushion and going straight into the fence.
Yeah, this is a bit of a push loose. This car, you're up there on the top side. You got a lot of wheel in it. It's not turning. Touch the throttle. All of a sudden, you are snapping around back into the wall, and that may happen tonight. We'll see. There's some talented race car drivers, but mistakes do happen.
Yeah, I mean, they damn sure do happen. I mean, and to even the best of them, honestly, Morgan, I've seen guys that, would be big time guys. I mean, some guys may end up having 6,000, 7,000 hour rating. I've seen them just step on the gas a little bit too much and end up cracking the fence. And folks, that wall up there, as soon as they get into it, it's like dropping anchor on a damn boat. They'll go straight to the back.
See the field rolling to the green. Here we go. Underway. QSR Race 2. It's Xfinity season.
Here Here we go, Dirt Likes. He's down on the bottom. Ronnie Joyner up top. Bradley Cooper up there in the V-Speed Chevy Camaro. He went to the top. He's going to jump down to the bottom. Ronnie Joyner still up on the top side trying to see if he can work up some momentum. He's going to get the momentum. Dirt Likes down on the bottom. He's got no chance. Ronnie Joyner in the 00. Leroy up on the top side with Dirt Likes on the bottom. Leroy's going to try to get a run right behind the Brent Allen in the Clemson colors getting up here. Little bit of almost had some door banging right there for the lead. And Brent Allen, he shot out like a damn rocket there for a second, Morgan. He looked like he was maybe wanting to try to take them 3 wide before they got to turn 1.
And new leader 00 is going to take it to the point off the top side. And if you didn't think we had energy, well, you're woken up now.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you get right there when you get me, obviously, Morgan. But here we go. I mean, Ronnie Joyner trying to get out, trying to get away. And Brent Allen, in that 13, he's trying to give chase in that Clemson car up on the top side of Dirt Likes. And like I said earlier on, Morgan, you know, this place, obviously, you can run the bottom, which is where Dirt is. You can run the top, which is where Brent Allen is. But the main thing about it, if you don't end up stepping on the throttle just a little bit too much and you slide up and you get into the fence, eventually that top side, you're going to end up burning your right fronts, what you're really going to start doing. Obviously, you're going to be going faster, but what you're going to end up doing, like I said, burning that right front, you're going to start getting tighter. So you want to be able to take care of that right front here at Kansas. How do you do that? There is seams. There's about 3 or 4 of them. If you can get them on that top side, there's a seam up there just barely. You can ride that seam, which is exactly what Bradley Cooper just did to get around Dirt Likes for that second spot. So Bradley is actually riding right on that seam. There you see it going through the corner, right there where the dotted white line is, and he's starting to give chase on Ronnie Joyner. That's how you're able to do it, is ride them seams, be able to make that back end of the car start to step out a little bit. That's how you can get that car to rotate very, very easily.
What I love about this racetrack is this is one of the most multi-groove racetracks in all of iRacing. This one, Old Atlanta's on that list, and there aren't many others. Maybe Charlotte, you could say, too, where you can run 2-3 different lines and be competitive everywhere. I mean, the line will move up and down throughout the night, as we can see right now. Leaders running the bottom, second place running the top and catching them. But this race always produces excellent racing here.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I said, you know, that's why I love this track, and I think that's why a lot of drivers, not only in the Xfinity cars, but even the next gens, the trucks, hell, whatever they end up wanting to run here, that's why they love it. And there you see Bradley Cooper working that top side. He's able to get the momentum on the bottom. Ronnie Joyner, they make contact. Almost, Ronnie Joyner almost sent Bradley Cooper in for the spin cycle going into turn 3. Ronnie Joyner got out of the gas, let Cooper go. Bradley Cooper in the 5 V-Speed car, may we add, the V-Speed Chevrolet Camaro. He is up front, and Ronnie Joyner now down on the bottom trying to give chase. How about Peter Hott? We talked about him a while ago, started 8. Look at him, all the way up there in that podium spot, up in 3rd.
There is a look at that 25 machine running that the Monster Beast colors, as you see on Tyler Reddick on Sundays. But let's look through this field a little bit as your top 3 are starting to spread out. Dirk Likes from pole back to 4th position. Battle here for 5th. Austin Dowdy alongside Joseph. I'm going to get this wrong every time. Terciano, I believe is how you say that one.
I was going to let you go ahead and take that one, Morgan. I wasn't even going to take a shot at it because my ass probably wouldn't have been able to get it right anyway. But here we go. Mike Patron back here in the 60. He's going to take a shot at him right here. See if he can try to ease up and get him another spot. Tarancho, or see, I'm going to mess it up myself. The 87 goes around Dirt Likes. Mike Patron back there. He's trying to get around Wisnowski, which, matter of fact, got to give a shout out to Ethan Wisnowski. Posted a couple of videos within the QSR chat. Actually, Wisnowski, now that I mentioned him, he ends up going into the fence, so hate it for you, Ethan. I was trying to give you a shout out, brother. You follow me on TikTok at Redneck Announcer 57. So follow me on TikTok and saw all the videos. Sure enough, I give him a shout out. He ends up throwing it straight to the damn fence.
Well, I think that's our first stripe of the evening. That 15 machine, no damage on that car, so he should be able to just keep on going. But if it's tight at lap 10, it's going to be real tight at lap 40 when we are getting into the pit stop cycle. So hopefully everything is okay on that 15 machine. Throughout the rest of your field, you have Brent Allen back here in 9th position. Daniel Molnick's biding his time in that 6th machine, running 10th. Christian Reckriegel in 11th. Under fire from Spencer Johnson in the number 29 machine. Frank Walsh back 3 spots in that Frank's red hot number 54 machine. Reed Sanders behind him. Ryan Commons, who we saw, I believe, in the 8th last week, if I'm not mistaken. Same Jordan scheme. Zach White, a little off the pace in 16th. Derek McMurtry, Brandon Yates, and CJ Gates, who has had a tough start. He is 5 laps down.
Absolutely, and I mean, really, great group of drivers. We talked about this last week with all these drivers out here. I mean, they put on, like I said, they put on one hell of a show at Daytona last week, and I got a feeling, obviously, for the weeks to come, these guys is going to put on even better shows. I mean, honestly, I don't know how you can top Daytona. I think they got Talladega later on in the season, so I can't wait to see how that one turns out. But right now, Peter Hopp has actually jumped up here. He's kind of caught us sleeping just a little bit, Morgan. Peter Hopp, he's actually jumped up here. He's got him behind Bradley Cooper right here. Not as tight as you would actually think. Obviously, not up there bump drafting him. But he has started to close the gap. He's got it down to 4/10 of a second, 3/10 of a second. As soon as I say that, Peter Hopp throws it in the fence. I'm going to quit talking about drivers at this point, Morgan. When they start making good gains, I'm just going to shut up because every single time they end up throwing it right in the damn fence. I am a jinx to them. Here we go, Ronnie Joyner. Let's see if Joyner can keep it off the fence.
Well, you're 2 for 2 there. That's a good batting average. Not great commentating, guys, up into the outside wall out of turn 2. We're going to see the 0-0. Try and put a move on this 25 machine here. Not quite going to have the run off the corner. Try again in turn 3.
Yeah, we'll see what he does right here. I mean, obviously, he is taking the more safer approach down on the bottom side. Obviously, it's not going to be as fast as Peter Hopp is going to be, but obviously, it's like I was saying earlier, try not to jump that cushion. And folks, I'm making a joke out of it. I mean, there is no cushion up there at the top of the track. Well, obviously, there really is with just how the rubber ends up laying down. But if you just end up getting up there in the marbles, you can easily jump straight across it. You can go straight into the fence. So, which is what you see Peter Hopp doing once again. Ronnie Joyner actually taking that, like I was talking about, the safer approach. He's going to ease it down to the bottom. He's going to get up to his door. Peter Hopp under fire for that second spot. Ronnie Joyner down on the bottom. They come up just a little bit. Joyner tried not to come up and get into his door. But at this point right here, he is just hoping that 25 will let him go. Wow! Peter Hopp got him in the right rear, almost sent Ronnie Joyner head on into the wall. That is the second time tonight, Morgan, we have seen guys where they get into the back end of somebody and get into the right rear just a little bit, and they damn near hook them straight up into the fence. That's the second time that's happened tonight by 2 different drivers.
Well, let's hope we don't see a third, or else we may see our first caution of the night for a car with no engine left. If you turn it into that outside wall, you can say goodbye to the radiator, oil pan, the whole shebang. You're going to see that magic smoke disappear from the engine. And you can't finish with no engine. This isn't Talladega Nights.
I mean, you certainly can't. Just riding on board right there with Austin Dowdy. And Dowdy had a very, very good run at Daytona last week. Obviously, made some highlights, I guess you could say, with Dowdy giving his teammate the old kick in the pants going into turn 3. That obviously made the highlight reel on the QSR TikTok channel, so that was pretty cool to see that. Pretty cool to see how all that went. But Dowdy up here doing pretty solid right now. I mean, he started 7th. That's exactly where he's running. The guy that's in front of him, we was talking about him a minute ago, is Wisniewski, Ethan Wisniewski. He started 12th. He's all the way up to 6th. A good drive for him. A couple of other bigger movers, or big movers, I guess you could say. Daniel Molnick's back there in the 6th, started 16th. He's up to 8th. Then you got to go all the way back to Reed Sanders. He didn't even put down a qualifying time. He started 18th. He's up to 13th. But the big loser out of all of it, you talked about it a while ago, was CJ Gates. His race just was basically screwed from the start. I don't know if there was a disconnect, or actually, from what I am seeing, he actually dropped due to upload packet loss. So whatever the hell that ends up meaning, he was not able to be there at the start. He had to start from the pits, had to fire off, and that's why he's 5 laps down.
It's much as I'd love to explain it, this is neither the time nor the place to explain upload packet loss. That's for another day. But up here in the 9th position, we've got ourselves a battle. Dowdy and Allen.
Which is weird right here because Brett Allen, I mean, we saw him up there a while ago, obviously, right up on the top side. Wow! Dowdy literally had to jam on the brakes to not slide up and put Brett Allen right in the fence. But, Morgan, that's one of the risks that you're going to take on the top side. It's very, very risky up there. But it's risk versus reward up there on that top side. Brett Allen able to carry the speed if you're able to save the tires, if you're able to try to make the top side work. Obviously, we've seen a lot of great NASCAR drivers be able to try to make that top side work. Dale Earnhardt Jr., one of those drivers come to mind, obviously Kyle Larson. But you got to be careful up there on that top side. You got to be careful with who you are racing. And obviously, Brett Allen started 3rd. He's actually worked his way up to 7th, just past Daniel Monix for that 7th spot. Monix going to try to get the run on the outside. But you got to be careful with who you're racing at that point because if that would have probably been anybody else, but Austin Dowdy, they would have probably shifted straight at the track and probably put him straight into the fence. So that's one of them things where if you're going to make a run on somebody, especially coming off the corner, knowing that they got to get out of the gas, you got to be able to trust those guys or else they can put you in a real bad spot, especially with a league that has no faster players.
You were talking about risk and reward, and I think someone is finding out very quickly that he maybe was a little too fast earlier in this run as his 25 and Peter Hopp. He was 2nd, challenging Bradley Cooper for the lead. He finds himself currently in the 4th position. I'd have to think that right front's maybe a little bit hot. Also, his line in turns 1 and 2 is a lot lower in the center, higher on the exit, allowing the 67 to get a great run.
Yeah, that's the 87 of Joseph. He's taking a shot down on the bottom side. Terciano, whoa, say that one 3 times real quick, folks. You'll be able to get it right. Terciano, he's able to get around Peter Hopp. So take up Terciano up to the 4th spot and look right behind him. Man, I was talking about a while ago, Ethan Wisniewski. He's starting 12th. He's trying to ease up into this top 5. And for what we're seeing out of Peter Hopp, to be honest with you, Morgan, no offense to Peter, but I just don't think there's going to be a whole lot of competition when Wisniewski ends up getting to him. Is actually Hopp is way up the racetrack, all the way up damn near actually clipped the fence going into turn 3. So he is trying every which line that he can, but obviously just stepped on that loud pedal a little bit too much, burnt through that right front like you were talking about. Wisniewski running a very solid line, not moving around all over the place. Hopp is moving around all over the place. Once again, as I say, Wisniewski goes in the fence. I'm not talking about him anymore. I cannot do it, Morgan. Every time I say Wisniewski's name, he ends up going in the fence.
Well, let's hop on board with our leader here quickly. Look back at the field. He's 1 second in front, Bradley Cooper, the V-Speed number 5. Looking back at Joyner, who is creeping in. This lead was about 1.2 seconds. Now it's down to around 0.8 of a second. As we're starting to feel the effects of tire wear all over the field, but this 5 car seems to be getting a little bit as well. I think Joyner's been saving his stuff, and he is rolling right now.
Absolutely, and I talked to Ronnie Joyner before this race, and Joyner said, he wants to just let the track come to him. Joyner very comfortable here in these Xfinity cars. Matter of fact, all the Venom Motorsports guys, him, Likes, Monix, all those guys run these primarily, I guess you could say, through the week. So a lot of, so they've got a lot of experience in these cars throughout the week. So obviously very confident here. He loves to run up there on that top side and very good at it, may I add. I'm amazed every single time he's going through these corners, he's not throwing it in the fence because hell, everybody else did. But he has been very confident up there trying to run that top side. And he's keeping that gap right now at about 1 second. He actually starts to catch him a little bit going into 1. You'll see it right there. It drops all the way down to damn near 0.8 of a second. But then Cooper ends up pulling away. So, good battle right here, believe it or not, even though they're a second apart right here between Joyner and Cooper. It's a good battle trying to figure out. Actually, Joyner gets him going in. Cooper ends up getting him coming out. So, good battle right here between both of these guys. Like I said, even though they're only second apart.
That is just the ebb and flow of auto racing. You get him going in. He gets you coming off the corner, and what do? You just keep doing what you're doing, and we are about probably 15 laps away from 1, halfway, and 2, probable pit stops. You gotta keep that in mind always when you're running 1.5 miles. Fuel mileage, a big deal. Let's go back to your favorite driver in the field. Hopefully he doesn't hit it for a 3rd time in a row. Ethan Wisnowski still working that 8th position, trying to get by Brent Allen in the Clemson colors.
Yeah, I mean, and actually, that last lap, I think actually Allen got around him, and he was 7th that last lap, so he actually did get bumped down. But there you see it. I mean, look at Peter Hopp. I mean, just trying to run this defensive line up here on this top side. Brett Allen is not going to put up with that too much longer. Allen takes it down to the bottom. Hopp's going to keep it up on the top side. Obviously, Hopp's going to be running the preferred line that you would want to be able to carry all the momentum. And here he goes, up on the top side. Allen, he's going to come up. Got to be very careful right there. Watching guys slide up. I mean, Morgan, there's been numerous times where I've come off of turn 4 here at Kansas, and guys just jump straight up in front of me. I mean, hell, they've done it off of 2 as well. Just slide right up and clear themselves. And then guess what? You're not clear. Bam, you end up hooking them straight into the fence. But Allen able to get himself clear. Now Hop going to take it down to the bottom. Where does Wisnowski go? Does he decide to go to the bottom? Does he decide to go to the top? Looks like he's actually going to run on the bottom. I thought he was actually running the middle, but he actually did jump down to the bottom side. So good battle right back here for that 6th spot between Allen, Hop, and Wisnowski.
Don't look now, but Ronnie Joyner has almost caught our leader. It's down to half a second. I'm not sure what happened in these last couple laps, but this 00 is rolling right now up on the top side. And let's ride in the cockpit, see what he sees.
Yeah, we'll see what he sees right here. Obviously, I mean, you see a big difference right there in what he is doing and what Cooper's doing. Cooper's not cutting the apron, folks. Obviously, last week at Daytona, we talked about it. These guys cannot go below the yellow line to improve their position. It will be black flag. The only way that they can go down there is if there's a huge wreck in front of them. Out of that, or they're trying to drop to the back and try to stay out of all the chaos. Here, it doesn't matter. You can go all the way down to the apron and cut that apron. Now Cooper ends up getting the memo. He starts cutting down to the apron just like Ronnie Joyner was doing. He actually pulled away from him just a tick right there. But that's where I think Ronnie may have ended up starting to close that gap, and he's running really, really close to that wall. I talked about it earlier. He really loves that top side, which is going to get interesting because Cooper's actually running up there on that top side as well. So it's going to get interesting if Joyner starts closing in, which he's closed it in to less than half a second right now, but it's going to grow because Cooper's been getting him off the exit. Now you see Joyner cuts back down on the apron. Like I was talking about, or what I was going to say, Morgan, it's going to get really, really interesting when Joyner ends up getting close enough to him to where that dirty air starts affecting that car. And that's where we're going to see how good Ronnie Joyner is really here in Kansas.
I think we're getting pretty close. It's down to under 4 tenths, and you can really feel it right here. And you can almost hear him pedaling it, trying to keep it out of the wall. Cooper's well got into the wall there in the center of the corner, but Cooper gets these really good runs off, but right about here, Joyner was going to get that draft effect and pull him back up. There you can see it on the timing screen, and now into the corner. Huge gain here for Joyner, reeling him in. Then the exit is where Bradley Cooper pulls him off the corner.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's where he gets him, but right there, Joyner actually got him by just a little bit. He actually brought it down to less than 0.3 of a second. Cooper all up on the top side. He got really close, slapping the fence down right there in the middle of 3 and 4. He was able to keep it in a good spot. He's actually going to stay above that white line. Joyner's going to try to cut the apron. And Morgan, that right there, I mean, Joyner's able to close ground, I guess you could say, by cutting the apron. But it really depends on who you ask as to whether or not you want to cut that apron or not. Some drivers elect to say, you know what, screw it, I don't want nothing to do with it because it doesn't do anything for me. Some drivers end up just saying, you know what, I'm going to take every bit of that I can. I'm going to use every bit of the road to my advantage. So it really is just, I mean, it's a driver's preference on whether or not you want to cut that apron or not. It's not both of them end up using it that time, but both of them keeping it up on the top side and pulling away from Third Locks, who's all by his lonesome on his own damn island back there in that 3rd place.
There's a look at the 3 machine running third. Yeah, like you say, cutting the apron, that's about half a tenth. And a track like Kansas, where it's flat, wide open, no issues running there, it can be bigger at a track like Phoenix or Vegas. But yeah, you would want to run the bottom here on the apron on the front stretch there to try and cut the track and get yourself a little bit of speed.
Yeah, but it's like I said, I mean, you know, there's certain people that has tried to cut that apron and it ended up working out for them. And some of them, they end up trying to cut it and it doesn't work. You got to think about it honestly. If you think about this for just a second here, Morgan, they're actually out there on 40 lap tires. Wow, Cooper is really flirting with that wall right there, especially in 3 and 4. He gets down a little bit lower in 1 and 2, but he is flirting with it up there in 3 and 4. But you think about it right here with his, you know, these cars is right there. They've already, on lap 40. Tires are, I mean, they're worn out. And so when you try to go from a banked area like the tri-oval is, or right there, you know, where the front stretch is, and then you try to go down to a flat surface, you can really throw the balance off on the car. So I think that may be why some drivers decide not to want to go down there. I mean, it works. I mean, if you can get it right. And both these guys, honestly, the class of the field here tonight were Bradley Cooper and Ronnie Joyner. And Joyner has finally caught the back bumper of Bradley Cooper all over the back of him. He's going to ease down to the bottom side, try to get out of that dirty air. Cooper, Joyner battling it out as Joyner slaps the wall off of 2.
And this is an interesting time for this because we are only a handful of laps away from one halfway to what will be the only pit stop required to make it to the end of this race. So we'll see what happens. If I imagine if Cooper gets past, he'll be going straight to pit road, try and undercut, get that lead back from the 0-0 of Joyner if Joyner's able to get around him.
Yeah, I mean, and it's gonna be hell, honestly, for him to try to get around him because I mean, if you can get the run. And you can dive it down to the bottom and basically pull the slider and slide right up in front of him. And you're able to pull it off. Good for you. Congratulations. But here's the problem. Cooper's going to end up being on the top side. He's going to have the momentum. He's probably not going to lift as much. I mean, I wouldn't think he would turn, Joyner. I wouldn't think he would. But, I mean, you slide up in front of somebody when they're already gassed up. It's like I was talking about earlier. Guys on that top side, they're going to have the momentum. So, I think what Joyner's probably going to end up having to do right here is he's going to have to do something kind of crazy. He's either going to have to pit early, either that or he's going to have to try to run long and maybe try to have a little bit fresher tires than Bradley Cooper is. Either that or just pray like hell that he slaps the turn 3 and 4 wall because he has come so close for the past 5 laps. I've been sitting there watching Bradley Cooper. He's come so close to slapping that fence in 3 and 4.
That's right. While we were going over this battle for the lead, we've had a few drivers start the pit cycle. Joseph Terciano running 16th and Spencer Johnson running 17th to both hit pit road in the last 10 laps. So that should start bringing drivers in as we are halfway this time by.
It's like you said right there, really. I mean, halfway, they'll be able to make it on just that one stop right there. They'll be able to go ahead and gas it up and make it all the way. You can go give or take about 52, 53 laps. You can make it on a full tank. So these guys should be able to make it all the way. It's just this one stop right here. They'll be able to make it all the way. But Joyner's got to plan this out right. He's got to be able to figure out if he wants to get around Cooper or how he wants to do it, really. He's just going to watch what Cooper does. Cooper actually goes down to the bottom. Actually, maybe it showed that maybe he was wanting to pit, maybe trying to throw Joyner off. Something. I mean, these guys is going to be playing some games with one another to try to figure out, you know, where they want to be. And Ronnie Joyner may end up having enough of it. He might be trying to go a little old school, try to take the air off his spoiler and try to get him loose. But, you know, to no avail. Obviously, Bradley Cooper's going to pull away from Joyner. He is within, I mean, he's there. I mean, Joyner is there. And behind him, Dirk Lights, Daniel Monix, they got their own little battle going on as Dirk actually had checked out. And he was all by himself. Now Monix has actually jumped up here on the top side. He's going to start to battle with him for that 3rd spot.
Ethan Wisnowski hits pit road along with Austin Dowdy. Brent Allen just made that hard left-hand turn to get down to the apron. So business is starting to pick up here on pit road. Christian Rodrigo, add him to the list. I imagine we'll be seeing leaders in with within the next handful of laps here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I mean, it's like I said, you know, 52, 53, somewhere in that range, about how long you can go on a full tank of gas. So, I mean, yeah, I would expect them to go down there, but I think what they're trying to do, I think they're trying to actually screw with one another and see if they can try to bait the other one to going into the pits. Maybe both of them's got the same strategy. Maybe both of them says, screw it, we're just going to run it long, both of us. And both of them end up pitting at the same time. Wouldn't that be some crazy stuff? Then it's going to come down to the pit crews and how fast they can get on pit road and how, you know, just how everything works out. So they, I mean, big time deal right here between both of these guys to try to figure out who's going to end up getting this win. But like I said, class of the field, they've checked out. Monix has went to third. You got Locks in fourth. And how about Reed Sanders? We talked about him earlier on. He didn't even put down a qualifying time, 18th up to 5th. But obviously, a lot of the drivers have pitted since then, but still looking pretty good up there in that 18th spot. As I'm actually looking, Peter Hopp has finally made it down pit road. I was wondering when that 25 was gonna hit pit road.
And we just had a worst case scenario for Bradley Cooper. Had a lap car slide up in front of him, take the air off the nose, and you saw he got really tight in front of the double zero. Double zero's up in the fence in turn 1.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, that right there, that's jumping the cushion right there. Either that or he just straight up said it right there and, you know, threw a stamp on it and just licked it and said it right there. But unfortunately, he's going to lose a little bit of ground. And there you see him right there. I mean, obviously, Cooper running up on the top. This is what I was talking about earlier, Morgan, with the dirty air. He's trying to get down a little bit lower and try to be able to get some air on the nose and have clean air instead of dirty air. You'll see him right there. There he goes. Jordan trying to run down there on the middle and try not to get in right in behind Cooper in that dirty air. That'll make that double zero start getting a little bit tight and start sliding up and could end up throwing him into the fence. But at this point, once you get that close right there, I mean, there's just so much going on. And see Cooper, he can come down and try to, you know, manipulate the air. I mean, that's just one of the things there in these Xfinity cars here at Kansas. There's a lot of ways that you can keep the lead. There's a lot of ways that you can keep the lead. There's a lot of ways that you can end up losing the lead really, really fast because Joyner's putting a lot of pressure on him right now.
And Dirk Likes has come to pit road. That is the first of our top 5 to hit the pit lane. That should shake things up because we are about 1.5 seconds off the pace from when we started this race. The fast laps in the 31s or so. We're running 32.6s for your leaders right now. So anytime you put tires on here, 1.5 seconds per lap for the first 5 or so laps, you're going to get a lot of time back. But everyone except for the top 5 is a lap down right now.
Yeah, I mean, and you just mentioned it right there. You know, you go in, you get those 4 fresh tires, you're going to be like a damn lightning rod all the way around Kansas right here. But you end up going in early. You can end up screwing yourself. Here we go. Joyner. He missed it. He missed it. Ronnie Joyner missed the pits. And Molnix is going to be able to capitalize on that. He's going to slide right by him and not too far back from them. You see a couple of other drivers starting to catch up. There is Derek Murchie. He's the last driver on the lead lap. It's the 87 back there. I can't get it. You're going to have to end up getting his name right, Morgan. Terciano. I'm going to have to write that one down right there. But Terciano, I mean, he's the first driver 1 lap down. So just barring something crazy, should a caution come out, obviously he'll get the lucky dog, but everybody else will be able to get the waiver out there. You see Cooper, he goes in. Joyner goes in, but Joyner was all up in his back bumper before he ended up trying to go down the pits. So kind of screwed himself right there, but Joyner did reel him in. But obviously now we got less laps than what they ran on that fuel stat. We'll see how it plays out right here, but I'm telling you, it's going to be one hell of a finish between these guys. I do believe Daniel Monix, there you see him. He went ahead, led that lap, go ahead and get him that bonus point. Now he's going to ease that number 6 into the pits.
So 55 is what Daniel Molnick stretched the fuel tank to. I'm surprised. I didn't know he was going to be able to go that long. That's pretty impressive. But let's see. We got Cooper blending back out on the racetrack. Let's see how some of these guys who pitted early. Terciano is going to go right on by. That's how much new tires are worth. Terciano is going to clear by seconds over Bradley Cooper. About 3 seconds back is the 5 machine. There he is entering turn 3. Terciano rolling center of 3 and 4. Molnick's still your leader as he comes out of the box.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like we was talking about, Morgan. You know, that tire fall off, it's gonna suck, honestly. You know, for Terciano, because obviously, I mean, he went in way earlier than
14
Cooper did.
laps.
Probably about, yeah.
Yep.
So there you go. I mean, he's going to be basically swallowed up, eaten alive right here. You're going to see Cooper start putting down some serious lap time. He's going to catch him at a heartbeat. I mean, look at it right there. You see it right there on the road. I mean, he went into the turn 3. Literally, he went into turn 3 at 4 seconds over Cooper. Now you look at it, it's already at 3, and it was about half a lap. So Cooper's reeling him in like he's just sitting there, just sitting still right now. So no doubt in my mind right now, Cooper's probably going to have this lead, and I'd say about at least the next 3 to 5 laps, he'll end up taking this lead.
Yeah, and the big loser out of that pit sequence we've already highlighted is Ronnie Joyner. He went from what should have been, in this case, 3rd. He's back to 5th behind both Brent Allen and Dirk Lights. See in front of him there. There's Allen, that Clemson car, Likes the next car up ahead, and then Cooper in front of him. So looking on the relative, that is 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds, that missing pit road cost him.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, he did it to himself. I mean, he tried something. I mean, you got to be able to try to slow down. I mean, you got to get wowed down and be able to meet that pit road speed. And, I mean, honestly, he wasn't going to make it, but if you think about it, he probably would have got tacked on with another penalty because you can actually get 2 penalties going into the pits. You can get a speeding penalty and you can get an unsafe entry for pits, which is just going to jack up that penalty timing even more, and you're going to be sitting there. And so, I mean, it was a gamble. He tried it. It didn't work, but lucky for him, he was able to still have the presence of mind, still had the skill to be able to just go ahead and cut it out there. As there you see Cooper. I mean, there you go. What, 3-4 laps? He's already ran down Terciano. Bradley Cooper, absolutely check it out. There you see him right there. He's looking very calm right now. Just running that wheel right there. Looking very calm. Got the B-Speed logo back there. The B-Speed logo on the hood. Cooper looking pretty good right now, but you got a new player in all this right here. Dirk Likes. Wearing that number 3. He's actually getting chased down by Ronnie Joyner right here. But obviously Terciano, he's going to get bypassed big time. But Cooper needs to run consistent laps right here. Start trying to grow this gap between him, Dirk Likes, and Ronnie Joyner.
And if I recall correctly, it wasn't until about lap 25 in the run that the double CR really started to apply pressure to Bradley Cooper. So if Cooper can extend that a little bit, you know, maybe a little farther than run lap 30 or so, that's going to be at our checkered flag, and he should be smooth sailing. So he's got a 2.3 second gap on Joyner, just past Likes for 3rd place. Going to chase down Mr. Terciano. There he is right there.
Yeah, but there's one thing that we haven't seen, Morgan, and I'll let you go ahead and take a guess at what it is. I'll go ahead and tell you what color it is. It's not green, it's yellow, and we haven't seen it this race. You know what I'm talking about here.
I know exactly what you're talking about. We're not going to elaborate any further, folks. We're obviously talking about a caution on the speedway, obviously. It'll be a little coy up here in the booth. But what else we haven't seen is lap traffic. And we are slowly but surely working our way into lap traffic in this field. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have, you know, lap traffic maybe dictate how this finish goes. You see a little bit up in front of our leader, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I mean that could play into this. I mean, you know, actually the next guy that he's actually going to be catching is Zach White. White actually going into turn 3 right now, and Cooper actually now he's going in turn 3. So Bradley Cooper, if he looks out the windshield, he can see the 77 of Zach White. And what's going to get interesting is if this starts trickling down just a little bit more, look who's in front of Zach White. Derek McMurtry in the 12 car. Mentioned this earlier on in the broadcast. He was behind Dirk Likes. He tried to push him to the wind. He ended up detonating the engine. Why is that significant, folks? They are teammates. So Derek McMurtry, like you talked about, lap traffic could dictate the end of this race. But not just by, you know, being a lap car. It could be by teammates trying to help one another try to get the win.
We will see if that comes into play tonight. Ronnie Joyner is slowly but surely catching our leader. That was half a tenth that lap. 25 laps to go here at Kansas. We're watching the QSR Simulations Xfinity Series. Broadcast team on the screen once again. I'm Morgan Cook, your broadcast and producer. We got the, what do you call yourself? Redneck announcer? Is that right, Jake Reeves?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's an old nickname I've was given probably maybe 5-6 months ago, and hell, it's stuck, to be honest with you. So, I mean, obviously, I got a TikTok channel. Obviously, you can ask Ethan Wisnowski about that. As soon as I say his name, he'll probably go on the fence. Hate it for you, Ethan. I hope you don't. But there you go. Looking pretty good. I think he got it figured out. Well, we ain't talked about him, or I haven't talked about him in a while. But obviously, got a TikTok at Redneck Announcer 57, and obviously got a podcast on Spotify, The Door, banging download. Everybody check that out. Look at this. Wow, look at this right here. I'm telling you, a big old gang of cars like this right here, Morgan. That little yellow thing may end up flying here in a minute with all this tight racing right here.
You want to see who doesn't want to see this as your leader, Bradley Cooper, who is slowly but surely just keeping that lead where it is. But look back, 33 of Rodrigo, and we see a bunch of cars under a blanket. Dowdy's in there, I see. We got Sanders and Johnson. It's going to be quite a run here. We're almost bouncing off the wall. There's, oh, I see a car just went wreck off turn 2 there.
Yeah, there was one of them actually that slipped back big time right there. Obviously, Rodrigo, he's actually going to get a challenge right here from Reed Sanders. Sanders actually was running as high as 5th earlier on before all the pit cycles and everything cycled out. So Reed doing a fantastic job up here, and then right behind him you got Austin Dowdy, and Dowdy's actually getting pressure from McMurtry. So this is kind of crazy right here, because you would think, or at least I was thinking, you know, McMurtry sees that Cooper's got the lead, maybe try to slide back there, try to maybe throw the air off on Cooper. But I mean, you got to look at it from McMurtry's standpoint. Obviously his teammates trying to run down the leader. McMurtry didn't have a good start to Daytona. I mean, well, he had a good run. I mean, McMurtry was up there on the front row when the whole thing started, but he didn't have the finish. So at that point, you got to kind of be selfish to a certain extent. You want to try to go ahead and get these points, try to get them early on. So I think McMurtry wants to try to get up here in this top 10, and if the leader just so happens to get to him, then that might be what he'll start to deal with. But I think McMurtry's worried about Sanders and Regal, who he is catching big time right now, as he just bypassed Austin Dowdy. Matter of fact, Austin Dowdy's going to be the next car that Bradley Cooper ends up catching. Cooper, he is at the line. Austin Dowdy just went into turn 1.
We have ourselves a battle for the lead now. I don't know what happened with that 77 machine, but Cooper lost about 1.2 seconds that lap to Ronnie Joyner, and we got 20 laps to go here. It's going to be a battle to the finish. Molnix is not too far behind. You see that 6 machine right there. We got a battle for the lead, folks.
Yeah, this is going to get way, way, way more interesting than what it was looking like right there at the first part of the race, honestly. But Joyner really starting to, like, I mean, it's like we was talking about. Maybe Zach White had something to do with it. Maybe we didn't actually see what happened right there with Bradley Cooper. But obviously Joyner's jumped up here, and Molnix has jumped up here big time, trying to get up here. Obviously got, what is that, bang on the number 6 right there on the hood, on the quarter panels, and he just went bang straight into the fence. yeah. Ironic enough, as soon as we're talking about bang, hell, he ends up banging it right into the fence. I guess he's got the same kind of luck as Ethan Wisnowski's got out of this whole deal. But you know, Molnix, he's gonna slip back a little bit. He's still in pretty good spot to be able to hold down 3rd. Or Morgan, think about this: Ronnie Joyner, Bradley Cooper, both of them up here. I'm not saying anything out of the way. You know, I hope everything keeps clean. It's been a great race all the way to the end. But you never know. They may end up here. Maybe they get tangled up. Both of them end up spinning. Molnix not too far back. Molnix may be able to capitalize on that.
This is giving me a little bit of Auto Club 2014 vibes. If you know what I'm talking about, that was the Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano battle to the finish line where they wrecked off a turn 4 Kyle Busch from about 5 seconds back, I think it was. Go went and collected that win. See what happens, folks. We are going to have a crazy battle the last 15 laps between the 5, the 00, and the 6 is hunting right now. He's moving.
Yeah, I mean, he is trying. I mean, Monix is trying to give it every bit that he can. We'll actually give you kind of a lap time idea. Monix right there, there you see the battle for position, but Monix, he had a 31.9 go up to, Ronnie Joyner, he had a 32.1. And Cooper, your leader, he had a 32.1. So right now, it's like you was talking about, Monix is moving. Obviously, he is faster than both of the leaders up here. Why is that? He's not in the dirty air, which is exactly where Ronnie Joyner is right now. But he's going to have to find something right here. I mean, Joyner or Monix got to find something, or Bradley Cooper's just going to end up just playing the defensive game, which he's not doing anything wrong. Cooper's not doing anything wrong running on that top side. But obviously, Joyner is way, way, way faster than Cooper is, because hell, he ran him down for, what, 2.5 seconds? So Joyner has got some speed. In that 00, the problem is when you catch somebody, you know, it's like that old saying goes, Morgan, you've heard it. Everybody out there in the chat has heard it. Catching somebody is one thing, passing them is a different story.
Yeah, you're right. And once again, like you were talking about on the last run, you got Joyner and Monix all the way down beside the grass. Bradley Cooper up the racetrack quite a bit as we coming into lap traffic here. That's Yates. Going to stay all the way down to the bottom here, let the leaders do their thing. But that's probably costing him a little bit of time as he gets right up against the fence. Doesn't quite touch it, the 5 does. But I think he's losing a little bit of time there right on the straightaway. Oh, that was just about a big one there with Joyner. You see that, Jake?
Woo! Yeah, that was a little bit interesting right there. I mean, Joyner, he had to take the top side because he's just following Cooper and just trying to go. And I think he might have actually would have thought that C.J. Gates would have actually kept it down there on the apron and just tried to go ahead and let them ease on past. But obviously Gates didn't have the same mindset and the same thinking that Ronnie Joyner was sitting there thinking about. So, I mean, very unfortunate to kind of see that, but, I mean, you're going to end up kind of getting that. It's just one of them things right there where you think somebody's going to go lower and they don't end up going lower. You just end up just having to pray like hell that they don't come up and hit you in the left rear and end up spinning you around. But now Monix, after he ended up banging it up into the turn 3 and 4 wall, he's starting to pop off some banging fast lap times right here. And look at him running the bottom. Joyner, Cooper up top. They are starting to catch a lap car. Matter of fact, that is Austin Dowdy. He's going to try to stay on the lead lap, or will he end up going out of the way? Let these 3 guys fight it out all the way for the win. We'll see how this plays out. Next time around, we'll tell that's good.
And not too far in front of Dowdy, there's a bit of a battle here. We got 3 cars. There they are. Wisnowski, Rodrigo, and Sanders all battling as well. So we could see quite the finish here as Joyner's going to go all the way to the bottom on Cooper, and that is something we have not seen all night. Joyner's been glued to the outside wall. Interesting move there, shaking it up a little bit.
Well, I mean, you got to go where you got to go. I mean, you got to try something different right here. You get 10 laps to go. You pretty much just got to go where they're not. You just got to end up trying something different. Wow, Dowdy actually looked like he might have smacked the wall just a little bit coming out the turn 2. But Cooper, he's not going to lead this top side. Cooper's not going to lead this top side. What Joyner needs to do is he needs to get right up on his tail. He needs to get right up on his bumper and fill that rear view mirror full of the 00. And that right there may end up helping him. Why is that? Because Cooper may end up looking up and say, you know what, screw it. I'm going to look up to the top. You know, I'm going to look up in my mirror. I'm going to see what's going on behind me. You end up overstepping your boundaries just a little bit. You slide it right up into the fence. So we'll see how this plays out as well. Now they have called Austin Dowdy. Dowdy, where's he going to go? Joyner, he goes up and hits the fence. Monix almost ended up spinning his own teammate out right behind him. They have been caught by, I believe, another lap car. So there's all kinds of craziness going on. One thing about it, though, at number 5, Bradley Cooper, he is clear of every bit of this. Now Monix, he's had enough of it. He's going to try to go for second on Joyner. Joyner up top, but the top side prevails. Joyner able to get past Daniel Molnix. And you got to think about this just for a second, Morgan. Molnix ran them both down. Molnix is faster than both of them. So, you know, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but you know it's pissing him off because he thinks, obviously, he's faster than both of them. He's wanting his teammate to get out of the way and say, you know what, if you can't get him, let me get him.
Yeah, Joyner's been trying for, what, 84 laps now to get by the 5 machine of Bradley Cooper. So I've been that teammate before, the one that's getting held up by your teammate, and you just cannot get around them, and you're screaming on the voice chat, get out of the way. I got something for the leader, and I bet Molnix is feeling that right now as they're losing touch with the 5 of Bradley Cooper.
I'm telling you right now, I mean, if I was sitting over in the Pennham Motorsports chat, they're probably cussing at one another 9 ways to Sunday. Obviously, folks, I mean, you know, I've raced against Ronnie Joyner, Daniel Molnix, Dirt Likes. I've raced against all them guys before, but I guarantee you right now, one of them, somebody's getting mad at somebody right now, telling somebody to get the hell out of the way and let me have a shot at Bradley Cooper.
Molnix up at the fence.
He's just going to end up just throwing it away right there. So Joyner now, he's going to have Molnix off his back bumper, but he's got to go. 5 laps to go right here. I mean, if he's got anything for Bradley Cooper, he's got to get up here. He's got to send it, or else Cooper, I mean, hell, I mean, he started 4th. He really has took the lead from the start of this race. And Morgan, he's not even really looked back. The only time that he's actually been, I guess you could say, challenged is that one time that Ronnie Joyner took it down on the inside in 3 and 4 and shoved the nose next to maybe have got to the left rear of Bradley Cooper. But at that point, I mean, other than that, you know, Bradley, he's been the class of the field. There you see it, 76 laps, led of 87 here this evening.
The thing I would be concerned about if I was Bradley Cooper, we saw it out of his nose right there, is we are pretty quickly catching lap traffic, and they are all running the top side. So we're going to get there before the checkered flag here. In fact, that was a big gain that time on the 11 machine. I'd be worried if I was the 5 of where's this lap traffic going to go. It almost cost him last time, and Joyner is right there.
Yeah, he is really starting to run him down. Obviously, they got the 25. Peter Hopp right behind him, 3 laps down. Hopefully, Peter won't try to jump up here and get in
Cooper's
the middle.
in the fence. Joyner's in the fence.
Joyner goes in the fence. Holy hell. That right there is what Joyner was really wanting Cooper to do. But he had to capitalize on it. And guess what? He done the same damn thing that Cooper did. So it's not going to be able to work out for him, but he's not too far back. 2 laps to go, Morgan. These guys right here, literally the class of the field, and which one of them's going to win it?
Well, it could go either way at this point. It's all going to come down to a single mistake, either not going for it or slipping up as the leaders. They're going to catch Ethan Wisnowski here, probably coming to the white flag. See the 15 machine right in front of the 5. Can't quite see him not in frame, but it's going to be close. The air will definitely affect these leaders. As we're going to go to Jake Reeves for our last lap call.
Well, here we go. Cooper up on the top side. He's actually going to ease it down to the apron. Ronnie Joyner going to try to use the draft. Obviously, both of them going to run the top. We talked about Wisnowski not too far up there, sitting in the 10th spot. Cooper up top. Joyner trying to see if he can rally man. Peter hopped the lap car right behind him. But Bradley Cooper, if he can get it down here in 3 and 4, Joyner's going to take one last sit. Tries to get down the inside, but that top lane is going to prevail. Bradley Cooper dominant here tonight for the QSR Xfinity Series here at Kansas. He's going to win it, leading 79 laps. Holy hell, that is a tail whooping right there. Bradley Cooper gets the win. Roddy Joyner's second. Daniel Molnix third. Dirt Likes 4th. And Joseph Terciano got it right that time.
Nailed it.
He's going to finish in the 5th spot.
That was wild. 80 laps out of 90 that 5 machine led here tonight. Those are some good points. Good points for that machine. Yeah, great race here tonight. We saw no cautions, completely green from start to finish, very few mistakes. And we're going to watch this 5 machine burn it down on the front stretch. So we had a big wreck here. I think I just saw. Yeah, the Molnix is around. Joyner and Molnix having a little after the race extracurricular activities.
There you see Cooper right there. Got to burn it down right here on the front stretch. I know that's got to make you feel great right there, Morgan, that Cooper ends up getting the win. He's going to burn it down, obviously, V-Speed. And great for V-Speed to be able to get him a win out here at Kansas. I'm sure he'll end up saying the same damn thing when he goes into the post-race interviews here in a little bit. But, I mean, that's how you do it right there. I mean, if you're going to win it, you know, do it in style. And, I mean, honestly, you know, if Bradley Cooper wouldn't have won this race tonight, it wouldn't have been right. Honestly, I mean, you go out there and you lead that many laps, 80 laps of a 90-lap race, and you don't win, you either screwed yourself or somebody screwed it for you, really. I mean, but Cooper ends up getting the win. Congratulations to him on putting on one hell of a show tonight. And, you know, congratulations to the top three because they made it interesting. If you think about it, honestly, Morgan, because right there at one point, first and second, they was the only ones there. Third place was like 6 seconds back. So, I mean, they put on a hell of a show here this evening.
That is right. It was quite a race, and that top three made it very exciting at the end. QSR Simulations, once again, a great show. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with interviews of your top three as well as our final race results. See you guys in a bit.
Here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
Cabot,
Where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A punch from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
We are back here live on V-Speed. Just finished the race number 2 at Kansas for the QSR Simulations Xfinity Series season. Have a look at our results after what was a great, very clean race here at Kansas. Bradley Cooper in that V-Speed number 5 is your winner. Ronnie Joyner came home in second, Molnix in third. Points leader, Likes, finished 4th. Terciano in, I believe, his debut. I don't remember saying that name last week. He is 5th. Allen, 6th. McMurtry in 7th. Reed Sanders, Ruck Regal, and Wisnowski, who I think hit the wall more than anyone else tonight. He came home in 10th, up 2 positions.
Absolutely, and Austin Dowdy, pretty good run for him. All these drivers, 1 lap down or more. Austin Dowdy's going to get 11th with Zach White, finishing in the 12th spot. Not too bad for him. Started 19th. He ends up going up 12th. It's a good run for him. Mike Petrin in the number 60. He's going to end up finishing in the 13th spot with Spencer Johnson at 14th. Ryan Commons in 15th with Brandon Yates in 16th. Peter Hopp in 17th. Frank Walsh in 18th. And CJ Gates looked like he actually just said to hell with it. He ended up pulling in 37 laps down. That's the 19-car field. But let's get to it. Morgan, you're standing by with Daniel Molnix.
Slide down here to pit road. Grab our graphic up on the screen. There is Daniel Molnix. Daniel Molnix, it's Morgan and Jake up in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, you ran 3rd here tonight. We thought it was a 2-horse race with about 20 laps to go, and all of a sudden the 6 car appeared. obviously didn't quite get the job done, getting up and finishing third place here. Why don't you tell me what you needed a little bit more of, and how hard it was to pass out here at Kansas?
I needed to qualify. That's what we were just talking about in the waiting room. I mean, they both knew I had the speed, but I decided not to qualify. I thought that some of those guys would, because you have to push so hard. I thought some of these guys would get in contact early and have a wreck or whatever, but they didn't. They ran clean, and I just had to do my part and get to the front, and I was almost there.
You did just about get there. In fact, at one point, I think you're only about 3/10 behind our leader, with I think 2 or 3 to go, and ended up getting into the wall with the dirty air. So, how hard was it to pass out here at Kansas tonight?
Oh man, it was tough. Like I'm looking at my right front now, and in those 30 laps or whatever, I had ran it down to 70%. So I was using it up. I wish I could have figured out a way to get the car a little bit looser, right off the right rear, but there's only so much you can do with these fixed setups. And I just didn't want to throw the steering off so much to the point where I would get behind somebody and snap loose or something like that. So I played it somewhat conservative, but yeah, had I qualified, I would have been up there all night, I believe.
Yeah, well, you ended up moving all the way through this field. At one point in time, we were early in this race. We're thinking, hey, what happened to Daniel Mulnex? And we started at the back, but what's going on here? And all of a sudden, you worked your way up there throughout the pit stop cycle up to the third position, and yeah, good run up 13 spots, led 2 laps, got a little bonus points here for this the season, but a good points tonight, all in all, for
Yeah,
that 6 machine. Anyone you want to
yeah,
shout
good
out or
point.
thank for this race tonight?
I thank you guys for putting this on, and all the guys that have been in motorsports. We push each other to be better, do better, all that stuff, and just hats off to all those guys.
Right on. Well, appreciate chatting with you, and I'm sure we'll chat with you more throughout the season. But that was your third place finisher, Daniel Mulnix.
Absolutely. Daniel Moniz ended up getting third. Now we're going to bring up the second place finisher, which is going to be Ronnie Joyner in the 00. And there he is, Ronnie Joyner up here in the V Speed booth. Ronnie, you got a copy, buddy?
I got you, Jake.
Ronnie, I mean, you obviously started on the outside of the front row. Obviously, Kansas was obviously one of your stronger tracks. I talked about that earlier on in the broadcast. But what did you really need to be able to try to get around Bradley Cooper? Because I mean, both of y'all were putting on a hell of a show all the way from start to finish.
Well, first, I probably shouldn't have missed pit road there. That cost me a little bit there, and I needed clean air. I felt like I was driving an Indy car out there. Every time I would get close to his bumper, it would just push to the fence, and you had to use a brake and bring it back down. So,
But I mean, still, obviously, I mean, you get second place tonight. Obviously, Daytona, it didn't go how you planned. I mean, you got a decent finish out of it, more or less, I guess you could say, at Daytona. But coming out here tonight, getting second, basically being one of the admin, I guess you could say, for this Xfinity series. I mean, just kind of give everybody kind of an idea of just what it's like to be around this group of guys that you're going to see every single week on Tuesday nights. And just what it's like for the fans out there to kind of get a driver's perspective with just this group that you got.
yeah, we got a good group of guys here. Of course, all the Venom guys. The Xfinity car is our bread and butter, and the Xfinity car puts on great racing. Look forward to what's coming here in the next couple tracks, especially when we get to a short track with these cars. And really look forward to Thursday nights too with the Gen 4 car as well. That's going to be a handful car to drive, and it's going to be really fun.
Ronnie, you just talked about the Venom Motorsports. Anybody else that you want to thank?
I'd like to thank you, Jake, and Morgan and VSP for putting on the broadcast, and thank Derek and Mercury for the good paint I had on track tonight and Green Top Sporting Goods, and look forward to Vegas next week.
Vegas is going to be quite a show. Ronnie Joyner, congratulations on that second place finish. Appreciate your time, and we'll see if Lady Luck can ride with you next week, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
That was your second place finisher, Mr. Ronnie Joyner. Now we're going to move into V-Speed Victory Lane is what I mistakenly called it last night. And Mr. V-Speed himself, Bradley Cooper, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do. How's it going?
Well, I'm better now. I'll tell you that much. We got some good points tonight, didn't we?
Yeah. How you How'd you think that race went, man? Because it looked like to me that if I hit the fence one more time, I was going to be out of position and lose the race.
Well, I'll tell you what, they were hitting the wall just as much behind you. It was a wild race tonight. You and Joyner put on a heck of a show running up there, and we were within 0.3 of each other for, I think, 60 of these 90 laps. I mean, I don't know how you did it, held them off that whole time. Why don't you tell us how you did it?
Clean air is so key. I mean, getting to the lead early was really what decided this race. And we knew that coming in. I think everybody knew that. I chose to run the high line a little bit earlier than everyone else when it came to the start of the race, and it was a lot faster up there. I did burn the tires off a little bit more, but I got out to a far enough lead that once Ronnie and Daniel and any of them guys caught me, they wouldn't have the clean air because they had to run the high side too to carry any speed off. So I just took the line away, not intentionally. It's just where everybody has to run, and that's how Kansas has been for a long time. And it paid off. I mean, minimal mistakes, even though I did make a few. There was one where I think I drug the wall from the entrance of 3 almost to the exit of 4, and that's when I gave up probably 2 seconds to Ronnie. And then before we hit pit road, I think I clipped the wall. There was just a bunch of little things that I think when you sit behind a desk and do the commentary long enough, you start to make those mistakes more often. So we'll try to mitigate that, but it's Vegas next week, right?
Sure is. I'll be behind the wheel of this V-Speed machine next week. Looking forward to it. But going back to pit road, what were you thinking when you looked up in your mirror and you saw the 00 actually miss pit road the time before you ended up coming down? What was going through your mind at that point?
Honestly, I knew that he had pitted before me. I didn't realize that he had missed it. And for him to come back the way he did after doing that was mighty impressive. Those guys were probably, I don't say 3-4 tenths faster than me in clean air, but it was because of me being in front and dirtying that air up. It just, they couldn't do anything about it. So, but yeah, I didn't have a clue that happened to Ronnie. And I think if Daniel would have qualified today, this would have been a different outcome because that guy's bad fast too. So all in all, I mean, that could have been, would have been. Ultimately, I guess I snuck one out here, QSR.
Well, they don't ask how, they ask how many. And 80 is how many you led tonight. 1 is how many races you won tonight. So who do you want to shout out or thank for this excellent effort here tonight?
Oh, we got a lot of stickers on the car here. I'd like to first and foremost shout out V-Speed and the company, everybody that put the broadcast on, you guys up here in the booth. Jake, Morgan, I can't wait to go back and watch this. The commentary was on point. I know we had some problems there last week, but I'm sure this week is just fire. So can't wait to see that. Southeast Tutoring is on the car. I got Butt Kicker, the, what was it? Wall Banging podcast. Jacob Reeves on the back. Sorry, I drew a blank there for a millisecond. Just everybody that helps Keo and people that sponsor us directly at V-Speed, and then QSR, Ronnie Joyner, Quentin Stewart, all the people that put this league on. They did a fantastic job, and I know that things kind of got thrown together with the Xfinity League, but you can't tell. And we had a solid field tonight, and I'm excited. Caution free, and that's impressive. We almost did it at Daytona, and we did it here tonight.
Definitely an impressive race here at Kansas, especially for, obviously, our winner here, Bradley Cooper. Led most of the laps, started 4th, won the darn thing, and you can see him celebrating there on your screen. We'll send you back to the waiting room, Bradley, as we wrap this thing up, and we'll crack the champagne here a little bit later.
All right, take care, guys. Thank you very much.
That was your winner, Bradley Cooper, here tonight. Well, with all that being said, let's hide that graphic and let's push that button. You were watching QSR Simulations Race 2 at Kansas of this Xfinity Series season. I'm Morgan Cook, right beside Jake Reeves. There he is right there. Let's have a look at our schedule for next week in the remaining season. Next week we're going to be in Las Vegas. I'll be behind the wheel of that 5. Bradley Cooper will be up here in the booth. We're going to swap places. Hopefully, I can find him in V-Speed Victory Lane next week. Then we go into Charlotte, Sonoma, Kentucky, and then the All-Star race at Bristol. That's your next month ahead So, Jake, what do you think of tonight's race? Send us off.
Well, I mean, honestly, Morgan, I mean, it was just, I mean, it's Kansas. I mean, you saw a lot of guys obviously want to run the bottom kind of right there from the start, and then obviously migrate to the top side. I mean, typical Kansas, but I mean, the dirty air really played a factor into this race, obviously, because Joyner was trying to be able to get down there, and it really actually really played a factor when he ended up missing pit road when he needed to be right there, when he needed to be on point. If he was able to get down, he may have had a shot to try to leapfrog Bradley Cooper, and then guess what? It could have been a completely different race. I mean, hell, it could have been a completely different race, like Daniel Molnix. Bradley Cooper talked about it. Molnix talked about it as well. If he would have just qualified, it would have been a different story. So two completely different deals right there on if they would have, you know, woulda, coulda, shoulda, however you want to look at it, but it didn't happen that way. And Bradley Cooper, that's the real story. He ends up getting wins, so congratulations to him.
Yeah, and we will see everyone here on V-Speed next week. Same time, same place. We're going to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Should be a great show out there. And don't forget to check out the other streams on V-Speed. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Never miss a moment of the action. And I'm Morgan Cook. Jake Reeves beside me in the booth. Want to thank Bradley Cooper. Want to thank Christian Hill, our other producers and broadcasters, everyone here on V-Speed. And we're going to sign off here. Good night, everyone. And we will catch you next time.
And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The road is burned!
Cabot, where did he come from?
Here
Here comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag